Yo, I'm KRS-One. This ain't what I'm rocking with.
My bad. I hit the button.
It's not
No,
on.
you're fine.
It's not on.
Oh, is that on?
No.
So why's the timer running?
Y'all hear that? Y'all ever heard of Rumpelstiltskin? Everybody wanna know his name. He would snatch your babies and everything. So that's a metaphor right now. Cause we about to snatch up what you love. If you a whack MC, we gonna snatch your mic.
I had to do it.
You ain't handling your chick right, we gonna snatch your chick. Sing it.
Who's the kid?
Okay, so what makes composing the creation of a song personal for you?
For me, it's the emotion that comes from the music that's created. So the music kind of dictates how personal it's going to be.
When you say music, are you referring to the track that you're on?
Yeah, between the track and whatever idea, like whatever the track says to me, it dictates what I'm going to say back.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's what pretty much make it personal. Like, you know, like I said, it's just the whole creation of it and the whole idea of it. And that's what's going to pour it all out.
Piggyback off of that, do you ever feel like you'll start with an idea for a track one way, and then because of what the track says to you, what the music is talking, what it's communicating, do you change up the whole song?
Yeah.
Okay.
At times, I mean, because when you create, it's kind of like, it's just kind of free flow with it. So I may have had this initial idea. You know what I'm saying? I might have been wanting to write this, and then once I hear the track, it's like, okay, that's not gonna work.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it got to be organic. It got to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Is that still as personal though? Because you've gone in with one idea, however you've come out with another because the music has changed the tone of what you were feeling. So is that still personal? Okay.
yeah, I mean, how the personal feel to it's not gonna change because the same person's creating it. So even though I may have switched the idea, the idea was just an idea that was just kind of like on the fly anyway.
Right.
Then once you know you got the music, now you have something concrete to go with. So now I'm writing from this perspective as opposed to what I was thinking of at first. So nah, it ain't gonna change it.
Cause we about to snatch up what you love. If you a whack MC, we gonna snatch your mic.
I had to do it.
You ain't handling your chick right, we gonna snatch your chick. Sing it.
Who's the kids that
All right. Now, how would you describe your lyrics? And what other key elements do you feel describe hip hop culture?
My lyrics are raw, direct, humorous, and I like to think abstract. A lot of the times when I'm writing, I feel like I get to actually say things I can't normally say under any circumstances. I feel like a lot of artists have that. I think that's the reason a lot of artists go into writing is to express those emotions that you can't normally feel. So for me, my lyrics are definitely usually very raw, and I mean that in vulgarity, in content, in the message that it's trying to convey. They're very raw, very honest, and yeah, definitely abstract. I try to bring something new to the table every time. Definitely. Elements to hip hop, I would say are originality. However, at the same time, I would also say history. If you look at sampling, for example, when Kanye samples, there's a lot of history in the samples and the pieces that he uses. So when you go back and you hear the original piece, it unlocks a whole nother world of music and, you know, creates this inner dialogue, all because of he sampled this one thing. So it's very important to kind of know where you come from musically. And I think that a lot of people don't think about that when they think of hip hop. They don't take into account the history.
If you a whack MC, we gonna snatch your mic.
I had to do it.
You ain't handling your chick right, we gonna snatch your chick. Sing it.
Who's the kids that with all the
Last one. So what value has hip hop brought to our lives? And we'll answer separately, but do you want to take point on this one?
What it has brought to my life, man, I mean, I hate to make it sound so simplistic, but it's not like it's everything. It's brought everything. Like the way I react to certain shit, you know what I'm saying? The way I express certain things. Like hip hop affected all that because I didn't know how to do it. And you know, when you're a kid, you know, you pick from your mom, you pick from your dad, but it's like the music said everything for me and to me. So when I picked up the pen and started writing, it's hip hop that influenced poetry, that influences everything else because it showed me how to speak. You know what I mean? And then when I felt like nobody understood me, it was somebody or something that I felt like, even though I know the song wasn't made for me, you know, it's like, but that's, you know, when people be like, that's my shit, it's your shit for a lot of different reasons. And there was times when certain hip hop songs was the reasons I could go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? When I'm tuning out either what I hear, either tuning out, that sounds weird, but like tuning out silence, like if it's too quiet, you know what I'm saying? Or it's something that I'm feeling. And this song just feels like it's feeling what I'm feeling. This is what I'm about to listen to get through the night, type shit. You know what I'm saying? It is, like I said, it affected everything, just like how I treat women. Because you get the yin and the yang in the hip hop. You get those who treat them like they treat them because this is what sells. Or those who this is their upbringing, man, so this is how they talk. You know what I mean? But you learn the lessons from, if you call a woman this is what's gonna happen. But then it's like, but if I talk to her like this is what's gonna happen every time. And hip hop, certain hip hop music, certain hip hop songs will show you that, whether they try to show you or not. Because you'll mimic
what you hear.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
And
like,
what you
know,
see.
I mean, I always say art is life. So it's like, you know, you're going to mimic it and see how it reacts. Like if you didn't have a dad or older brother to teach you how to talk to girls or teach you how to deal with your anger or teach you how to talk to your mama. Somebody in hip hop does that. So certain people are going to gravitate because I need that. You got to take the good and the bad with it, just like you would if you had an older brother or your pops, because they're not perfect. They're going to have good days and bad days. Just when hip-hop artists have them, it's blown up and made because they're, as opposed to like if I talk to my little brother, I affect my little brother the way I affect my little brother. But that's just my little brother. When I have a world of little brothers, you know what I'm saying? Everything they do is under a microscope, but you learn that. And I've taken that and put it into my life to watch how they move, because there's cameras on them, even though there's no cameras on me. But and I just feel like the world is a big camera on me. Hip hop teaches me how to move through, how to read this dude, how to read her. You know what I mean? And also show how I'm being read by people. Like so, it affected my life in every aspect of it.
Okay.
Now, how about you?
Well, I was introduced to hip hop at a very young age. However, I wasn't fully aware of what I was doing necessarily. It was just around constantly. I'd say like all teenagers, I really didn't come to grasp what music was until I got older. And I didn't have any desire to perform until I started acting. And it's weird because they both grew. My acting and my music have grown side by side without me knowing it for the longest time, and they've just been apart until they've come together in the most recent of years. However, hip hop for me has been so, as I conceptualize it and I think about it, it's been so negatively affecting in my life, because I can't relate to it anymore. The things that were once, I guess could be said held up, or esteemed, or socially progressive, are now frowned upon to a certain degree. In the sense that it's corny and cliche and to be mocked. I think about like Public Enemy. Now, because of what's going on in the world today with BLM and the police brutality and these killings that have been going on, Public Public Enemy would fly with some, and at the same time they would be horrendously mocked by what I would consider would be, I would guess, your trappers nowadays, or your typical young.
You feel like they're mocking?
Well, no, I just feel like we don't hold the same values anymore. Whereas, even though I guess because I'm born in the 80s, you're considered a millennial. Is that right?
You would know better.
Okay. Well, I was born in the 80s. All right, the late 80s. So I don't consider myself a fucking millennial. However, that being said, I think a lot of millennials, we just hold vastly different values now. The things that I consider good in hip hop aren't really praised, to put it simply. And because I can't relate to the music anymore, and because they're doing things that I just don't care about or have no interest in, it's hard for me to relate. The way they look is so vastly different from the way I look. And these are black people. I'm talking about my fellow black people. I just the dreads with the colored hairs. Like, why? What are you doing? But that's them, and that's hip hop, and that's where hip hop is going. And I feel
it's not like it's shade. You just can't relate to it.
I can't relate to it anymore. So when I make music now, it's for me. It's so for me. I express exactly how I feel about something. I release all this pent-up frustration. Yeah, it's therapeutic for me. That's how hip hop has really affected my life in these most recent years, when I really tried to embrace it, because I can say exactly how I feel about something, and that beautiful blanket of protection that these young kids use of it's just music. I get to use it too. This is just music. This is just the way I felt about this, and I wrote the track. If you don't like it, that's your problem.
That makes that better if you say that up front, though.
True.
Some people don't say that up front.
Yeah.
You run with the image because it affected somebody's life to the point where he looked gangster, he looked cool, he get all the women. So I'm about to try to be like that because.
Well, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how they relate to it.
Well, at the same time, the three that you knocked off, he looked so cool. He looked gangster, and he get all the women. That's so common,
right?
That's the first thing you think of, and not just hip hop, but in black masculinity.
Because this is what they see.
Hip hop is a direct reflection of that. Therefore, I don't relate to any of those because I'm not really that type of guy.
Right.
I'm a really chill dude, which isn't necessarily cool, depending on what circles you run with, right?
Right.
I'm not gangster, dear God, no. And I don't really be pulling them like that. It's like, no.
So, but I'm saying,
so if I can't,
because you can't relate, is that what goes into it?
Well, that's the
only way you can relate to something is if you make it yourself.
That's my whole thing. Okay. Exactly.
Okay.
I feel like I can't. If this is hip hop, there's nothing I can take from it and have to build on,
right,
to move me forward.
There's no substance to it.
There's no substance for me because of the things that they're talking about. Therefore, when I make something, I can take from it. You know what I mean? It supports me. It's my music. That's what hip hop has brought to my life. It has taken away a connection, and I have filled it with it.
Coast to coast instrumental. Come on, let's go.